The men. Also, my exercise is finished.
Oh, what colour?
Red.
Red.
Alright, thank you, sir.
Alright, okay. Right, here we go. Anglo-Saxons. Right, Romans leave Britain around 400 AD, roughly around 400 AD. As they leave, Roman society collapse in England, and the system of law and order, all of that goes. All of that declines and fades away. So what kind of system do the Anglo-Saxons build for themselves? Okay, their system of law and order and of law enforcement is built on the notion of the family and the community, in a large measure policing itself. Again, the kings during this period do not see it as their role to enforce the law or to police the country. There's no police force. So again, like the Romans, no police force to make sure people are not doing bad things. So what do they rely on in terms of making people behave and obey the law? One thing they're quite happy with at first is this notion of the blood feud. And the blood feud allows you and gives you the legal right to take redress or to take revenge against someone who has hurt either you or a member of your family. And you're quite under your rights, within your rights to attack and even kill a member of someone else's family who have injured someone in your family. Of course, this system is not very practical in the long run because it's bound to endanger and create feuds and vendettas, which can persist for many generations. So it's not a particularly good way of keeping the law. Okay, the Anglo-Saxons are very keen on collective responsibility, so that the society or the community polices itself. In the absence of a police force, why not get the people to police themselves? Okay, how do they do this? They have, of course, the tithing system. This is the system that all boys over the age of 12 are obliged to join a group of 10, and these 10 young men or 10 men are responsible for each other's behaviour. So if one of them commits a crime, the others have to pay the fine themselves. So of course this promotes a sense of collective responsibility because no one wants to let the other 9 down. And also another example of collective responsibility is the notion of the hue and cry. If someone commits a crime in the village, it is everyone else's obligation in the village to put the shout out, to chase after them and to try and track them down. So collective responsibility is a huge thing in Anglo-Saxon society. In Anglo-Saxon England, the country is divided into shires. Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, and the shires themselves are then subdivided into areas called hundreds. Well, obviously 100 smaller areas make up a shire. The king is in charge of the whole country. It's his duty and obligation to preserve the king's peace, and there are huge penalties if you break the king's peace. He's also, again, this notion of collective responsibility, quite forward-thinking. They have a system of compensation payments. This breaks down into 2 sections. You have the Were Guild. The Were Guild, which literally means man price, is a compensation payment if someone in your family is murdered by someone else. The amount varies according to the status of that person. If you are higher status, you're worth more than someone who perhaps was a slave. You also have the series of Bot Guild, or Buck Guild if you like, and it's a compensation payment for if you lose an ear, if you lose a bit of your nose. It's a very detailed and specific sum for each part of the body that was injured. Okay, what else is happening during the Anglo-Saxon period? The church is beginning to have more, the Christian church is beginning to have more a say in various aspects of the law, and perhaps most famously, trial by ordeal is used during this period. Trial by ordeal is used when the community or the local jury cannot determine if someone is innocent or guilty. Perhaps they don't have enough evidence, perhaps they don't have any eyewitnesses to what happened, so they can't just go on the character of the person involved. So if they can't decide, they go to trial by ordeal. And the logic behind this is that God would reveal the innocence of an innocent person, and vice versa. And this would take, as you know, various forms. 3 forms in particular. Firstly, hot iron. You have to carry the hot iron for 3 paces. They bandage your hands up. If your hands are healing, obviously you're innocent. If they're not, you're in deep doo-doo. And, you know, trial by hot water, and for priests, trial by consecrated bread. So, to recap, Anglo-Saxons. The Romans leave and they take their system of law and order with them. The whole system of law and order under the Saxons is very much based on the community, ties of kinship, the family is paramount. Also the church is having a more of a say in legal matters. There's the blood feud, which promotes vendettas. There's this notion of collective responsibility in tithings, in hue and cry. The king is in overall charge. He is meant to keep the king's peace. There are a series of compensation payments, Wergild, Botgild. There is the influence of the church in terms of these trials by ordeal, which should, in theory, reveal the guilt or innocence of a particular accused person. Okay, that's Anglo-Saxon England.